The guys in the office said, how do you feel about making a film at Langholme? And I was like, I would love to shoot a film at Langholme, but in saying that, what comes with that is the pressure of, I'm gonna have to catch some fish. There's clearly a lot of fish getting away with it. Are they wising up to certain types of rigs, certain types of rig presentations? I think they're very wary fish. They know exactly what they're doing and they can worm out the hook bait. Mega start. We're off the mark. We've had a brace, which is rare on here. They don't come easy, these fish, so yeah, mega happy. I think that's so important when you're casting on a lake. You know, I've had it on here where I've been really confident of a bite and the cast just ain't gone in right, especially when you're fishing tight to weed. We've got a bite. Just go around this rod. Come on, mate. Go on. And look what's turned up. Absolutely gorgeous. 27.4. Stunning. Mega start. But for now, I'm going to pop these fish in the book and get myself off. So that's going to conclude part 1 of my Langholme campaign. I'll be back in the summer after the fish have spawned, and all being well, one of these beauties will be in my landing net. So I left the lake after that visit super happy, and I honestly thought that was the end of the spring campaign. Not long after that, got really warm for a couple of days and some of the fish started spawning, and I thought that was it, done and dusted, but it kind of like got cold not long after that. It got a real cold snap, and there was nothing going on spawning wise at the lake, so the owners decided to reopen the lake. So there was like a little window of opportunity, and it was the day after the bank holiday weekend, and I'd been out with some friends and I'd had a few Guinnesses and I wasn't feeling my best, so I was 50-50 whether to go, and I took the gear in the van and made the decision to go down to the lake. It was quite busy, as I remember, but as I was driving in, an angler was just leaving the point who'd been on the point swim for the bank holiday weekend, and I think they had caught because the landing net was wet. So yeah, I kind of thought, I've not got a lot to go on. The lake is busy, there's not too many swim options, and thought, point's done me fish over my last couple of visits, so we'll take it. I jumped in the point, and when something's kind of working, the best thing to do in carp fishing is don't try and fix it. I put the rods back on the spots that I'd been catching from. I know it's kind of like Groundhog Day, but you know, until that method blows, you just carry on, you know, ride the waves, get the most out of it. I thought, right, so we're in point, we're just going to repeat what we've been doing on the last couple of visits. I'm not sure what time it was, early hours I think, if I remember rightly, and the middle rod just burst into life, an absolute screamer. I wouldn't say they're rare, but most of the bites at Lang are during the daylight hours, to be honest. It's more of a day venue, so yeah, it was a bit of a surprise, but yeah, on the spot, on the island spot, and yeah, it trudged around for a bit, and I was thinking, The middle rod has gone. It's not often you get night bites on this lake. I don't like to say that when you're playing fish, because the amount of times I've gone to me, oh, this is a big one, this is a big one, it feels a big one, and it's coming, it's 21 pounds, so I kind of like think, fish can be very deceiving, especially if they flank into deep water, and it, you know, I don't like to think it's a big one, but there was a little bit of me thinking, this is, as the fish was turning in the water, you can feel it through the blank of the rod, and I was like, this could be a good one. Yeah, I saw it and I thought, this is a good one. Yeah, fortunately, went in the net first time. It was obvious it was a 35 pound plus fish. And on the lake, rules is anything over 35 pounds, no matter what time, you must contact the owners and they will come down and they will help you with the weighing and the photoing of the fish. And obviously they want to see their stock. They're really, you know, they're really passionate about the lake, they're really passionate about the fish, and they're doing everything they can to make sure that the lake goes in the right direction, and they want to really share that capture with you. You know, Mick's really happy when he's been down, when I've had a nice one in the past, and he's, because he knows how hard some of the anglers work at the fishing. Well, I think all of the anglers down there work hard at the fishing, so they want to be there and enjoy the capture and just have a really good look at the fish. So we done that. Mick and I went over the fish, cleaned any wounds, made sure the fish was in tip-top condition, which it was. It's a big frame fish, that, isn't it?
That is,
Look at its wrist. Jesus. If I just hold him, could you just get that? But check his other side. I think he's okay on the other side, to be honest. Oh no, there's one on his tail, look. Yeah. I think you can safely say, mate, that's going to be a 40-pounder. Yeah, and it was an absolute stunner. 38 £4. One of the 18 fish. They don't name the fish at Langholme. You know, when I say to Mick, which one's that? He goes, we don't name them. It's just something that they do, I don't know. It's just, they know the fish, they can tell by it. They're really meticulous with their recordings of the fish, so they don't name them, so it's 38 £4. Yeah, mega happy. That was my first 35 plus fish. Absolutely sure that one's going to be 40 in not too long at all. Was a really big frame fish, and its wrist was massive. You know, you just like think, yeah, you're going to be a proper lump. So yeah, so that fish is one for the photo album for sure. Really pretty fish, and one that I know I've worked hard for. You know, I've done 4 years down there on and off, and I've never had one of the A-teamers, so to put my name on one was yeah, it was a special moment in my fishing. So yeah, we got it put back, and yeah, I went to bed very happy carp angler. What about that then? And I was 50-50 about coming down. I've been out with a few friends on the holidays, and I was feeling a bit ropey because I had a few Guinnesses yesterday, and I thought, oh, shall I go, shall I? And I thought, yeah, come on, I'm catching. And that's what carp fishing's about sometimes, you know. If you get on a bit of a roll, you got to make the most of it, because you can go weeks on this place without a bleep, and I'm sure that's going to happen to me at some point through the season. But while I'm catching, yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and this is an absolute stunning carp. So we'll get him back. And I was just saying to Mick, the owner, I don't think it'll be long before this one is pulling the scales round to 40 £. It's a big frame fish. Go on then, mate. While we've got a minute, I just want to talk you through the PVA bag system that I've been using on this trip. Now, this is a tracker fused inline lead system, and yeah, they've got a quick release swivel on them and a little loop in the top to tie your leader to. I'm using a just a standard lead-free braided leader to a braided hook link, and that's a size 6 wide gape hook. And yeah, it's pretty standard stuff. And all I'm doing is I'm getting the small PVA bags. The mix that I'm putting in the bag is identical to the spods, because this actually lands on the lake bed about the same size as a spod. So I think when the picking in the mix, the bit with the rigging looks no different to the free offerings. And all I do is I start off by putting a real small amount of bait in the bottom of the bag, and then I just drop my hook bait in. Now these are the Crayfish wafters that I'm using, and in the Crayfish wafter tubs you get 2 different colours. So you get like an off-white or a creamy coloured one, and the other one's real dark to match the pellets. Just mixing it up with the colours. There doesn't seem to be a colour that's doing any different. So drop the bait in the bottom of the bag, and then about half fill the bag, and then just drop your lead in. And once you've got your lead in there, you're just using the lead to push that down, because you don't want your lead at the back of the bag because it won't fly right through the air. So it's got to sit in round about the middle of the bag. So punch all that down using the weight of the lead. And then again, you don't need to fill these bags to the top. This is the small PVA bag I'm using. If you fill them to the top, they're too long and they still don't fly through the air well. So about 3/4 full, and then just push the rest of that down, and that just leaves the stem sticking out the top. And then grip it all. Just gently push it down. You want it as compact as possible so it flies through the air. Just squeeze that bait in. Now at this point, I get a baiting needle and I puncture a couple of holes in the bag. So when I'm squeezing the bag now, I'm getting the air out the bag and letting that bait compact into every area, and it keeps the weight in the bag, keeps it more aerodynamic. And once I've got it nice and tight, just get some PVA tape, leave a little bit in your thumb and forefinger, and then you just tie that off at the top. Get your rig scissors, just trim off the tag ends, and also the bit that's left in the top of the bag, just work your way around with your rig scissors. Give it a good tap on the top, work the bait in so it creates an oval, and lick and stick the edges down. Same on the other side. Okay, and there's the PVA bag. It's dead simple. Like I say, all I do is tie onto the end of the leader now, and that's what I've been using to catch the fish on out of Langholme. And one of the things I've been thinking about while I've been fishing Langholme this year is rig concealment. So when that bag breaks down, there's no way that the fish can see that braid. You've got a little parcel of bait, the hook bait's going to waft just above it, the leads are covered as well because that's all going to break, the bait's going to break down in and around the lead area. And I don't know, maybe that's why I've been doing all right this season. You don't know, it's very difficult to work out sometimes, but fishing bags like this has certainly been catching me a few fish. So for the remainder of the spring, this is going to be my go-to tactic now. It's working really well for me. And as we move into the summer months, maybe I'll start introducing a little bit of bait, because I'm going to be using the bug in conjunction with these PVA bags and see what's doing me the best. So we'll see what the morning does, and I'll start getting ready to slowly pack my gear down. Okay, so the rod's gone again this morning, and this time just sort that out. It's too early for that. It's done me a few bites as this area. I was fast asleep. It was about 2 o'clock by the time I got to sleep after sorting that fish out. He's hugging the bottom, this fish. Again, it feels like a good fish. Struggling to lift him up a bit. You watch, I'm saying that. It's going to be a small one, isn't it? But normally when they do this, they're not bad. He's under that line now. Sort that out. It's actually better because the net's here. Oh, steady on. Don't be going in, Vin. It's typical when he goes under the rods, he wants to go back under them again. Take it to where he started. There's another mirror. Just got a glimpse of him there. Can't get him up off the bottom. I can see him. He's just hugging onto that bottom. There's a little bit of weed in here as well, so I'll have to be a little bit careful just in this margin. He's a good fish again. He's a good one. He is a good fish. This is a good fish. This is possibly similar size to the last one. This is a good fish. I just got a look of him as he turned then. Saw how wide he was. This is a good fish. Must admit he has felt like a decent fish all the way through this fight, to be fair. Can't get him up off the bottom. Here he comes. Yeah, he's not a bad one at all. Come on, mate. Come on, mate. In you go. Just drop him onto the net. There we go. Wow. Good morning. Look at that. Yeah, he's not a bad one at all. I reckon he's another 30-pounder. Yeah, I reckon he is. A good 30 as well by the looks of it. Nice. He's a nice fish. Well, when you looks in, you looks in. This is a lovely fish. exactly £34, and a nice way to start the morning. So this is on the left hand rod, but on the same spot as where I caught that fish from last night. So yeah, I haven't topped the area up with bait yet, because we are in probably the best bite time at the moment. So I'm going to leave it a couple of hours, see if they can home in on that bag, and if nothing happens I'll rebait the area. But for now we'll take a look at this one. Another magical Langholme fish. Yeah, £34, and the decision to come on this trip has really paid off for me, because I was 50-50 whether I was going to come. Like I said last night, I'd been out for a couple of drinks with some friends over the bank holiday, and I thought, shall I bother? Yes, I was right to bother, because once again I've had another gorgeous Langholme fish. Whoa. One of the things I've learnt about fishing down at Langholme is when you have these moments, you've got to enjoy them, because when the lake gets moody and it switches off, it gets moody and it switches off, and it can be very frustrating. So you enjoy these moments. Look at that, absolutely fabulous. And to think I wasn't going to bother coming, crazy. Absolutely gorgeous 34-pounder, the second bite of the session, and who knows what we might get for the rest of the session. But if I don't get another bite, I'm really, really happy with this fish. Go on a minute. Yes, yes, yes. So nothing's happened since that last bite, and it's 10 o'clock now, so I've left the area a couple of hours. I don't like spodding into the area if I feel there's another bite in the swim, but nothing's happened, and I didn't put any bait out last night after the first fish, so both those rods have now done a bite. So I'm going to put about 15 spods out this morning, reprime the area. I've tied up some fresh rigs, so everything's nice and new. New hooks, new hook links, so everything's all good. I always like to have that in my mind, you know. Sometimes you can be a little bit quick to get the rod back out and just, you know, but I always like to make sure everything's right at the terminal side of things. So yeah, we'll do that this morning. I think it looks as though it's going to rain in a minute. There's a bit of a cloud coming over here, it's starting to rain. So we'll do that now, get the rods set and primed, and hopefully we'll be in the running for a tea time bite, because they do have that. They do seem to have a feeding spell this time of year on here, just after tea time, just when the lightness starts to drop a little bit, seem to switch them on a bit. So we'll get that sorted now, and I'll get some dinner on. That right hander hasn't been out long, and it's gone off again. Literally not long at all. And he's kiting down this channel to my right hand side. Come out of there. Come out of there. Get the landing net. Yeah, this rod wasn't even out. Half an hour. he's getting ready now. He's not as big as the others, but go on. Yes. Fish number 3 for the session. That was not out there long, it just goes to show. Just give him a bit of bait and freshen the bags up, and they're straight back on it. Well, I'd only just put the spod rod down after baiting the swim and redoing the bags, and moved in on the bait again. You know, it seems to be a pattern, you know, when I feed the area, they'll push out and then they'll come back in, and they're proper on that crayfish mix. The guys put a handful of stockies in at the start of this season, and I'm guessing that this is one of those fish, probably about 16 or 17 pound. I'll weigh him in a minute. But yeah, it's another bite, third one of the trip, and I'll just carry on doing what I'm doing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what they say, and I'm catching. So on a lake like this, just carry on doing what you're doing. We'll get him weighed and get him popped back. Put some clinic on him, and he's good to go. Just check for any lifted scales or anything like that. No, he's absolutely mint. And he can go back and grow on to be another Langholme giant. Well, nothing happened last night, not a bleep. So normal service resumed at Langholme. No, didn't really hear anything either. I had one in the island to my right on this side of the island, but apart from that, nothing. That's tight. Yeah, looked bang on for it last night down here, you know, with this wind chopping in. You'd have thought there'd been a few about, but it wasn't to be. And that is definitely my last visit before the fish spawn. The lake will close soon, and I'm away filming next week, and then the week after that, or the next 2 weeks after that, I've got a lot of editing to do, so it'll be a few weeks before I get down, and that's kind of like, I know I said it last time, but that is the spring campaign done and dusted. So what have I had? 7 fish, a couple of 30s, and lake PB, which I'm really pleased about. That's not a bad result at all for this lake. I'd take that. If you'd have offered me that for the nights I've done, I would have snapped your hand off. So really happy. And like I say, I've got a lot of work coming up over the next few days or few weeks. I recharge the batteries, let the fish spawn, and then we'll come back in the summer and see what it's going to do in the summer. Yeah, I've been kind of confined to this area for the past few sessions, but you know, when you're seeing fish in an area and the other areas of the lake have already got members in the swims that you would probably choose, it's been kind of like almost chosen for me. You know, I'm seeing fish down here and this swim, and then the swims in the bay have been free. I know I did a little bit in the ballroom in the early part of spring, but that's a really popular swim, and it's very rare that swim's free. So yeah, all good, happy days. We'll get off this morning, get some work done, and I'll catch you in the summer.